Gujarat's city of Vadodara is loud, bright, and intensely modern. It offers the safety you only feel when surrounded by thousands of people and concrete. But if you drive out of the city limits, heading deep into the Narmada district, that safety drops off sharply. Between the final streetlights of the highway and the remote villages of Narmada lies a 20-kilometer stretch of pitch-black forest. There are no houses here, no cell service, and no witnesses. Just a solid wall of trees separating the modern world from the rural interior. For Rohan, a young corporate worker, this route was usually a routine trip to visit family. But late that May, his grandmother passed away. Caught between grueling office hours and the immediate demands of his family's morning rituals, Rohan was physically exhausted and navigating the grief of a sudden loss. Returning to Vadodara alone one evening, he made a critical error. Deep inside that dark forest corridor, craving a moment of relief from the stress, Rohan pulled his motorcycle into the trees to smoke. He was alone, exhausted, and completely unguarded. Within minutes, the stillness broke. The tree directly above him began to violently shake, even though there wasn't a breath of wind. When he looked up, two glowing red eyes stared straight down at him. In an instant, the surrounding forest erupted into chaos as crows and bats flooded the sky, fleeing from whatever was perched on that branch. Rohan fled the scene, but the encounter didn't end when he reached the city. Driving away had stopped the immediate threat, but it left a chilling sensation that followed him home, as if the forest had marked him and refused to let go. What followed wasn't an immediate physical attack. Instead, it was an incubation. For the next 12 days, the encounter transformed from a memory into a recurring nightly reality. Every time Rohan closed his eyes in his city apartment, he found himself standing in the same barren field. In the center sat a single, dilapidated hut. From the doorway, a harsh red light bled out into the darkness, and an old woman would slowly step out to meet him. Each night, the dream progressed further. With every step she took toward him, her face would distort, melting into something inhuman and monstrous. Rohan would wake up drenched in sweat, feeling the heavy paralysis of a nightmare that refused to fade. Over 12 days, a pattern emerges. Spikes on this timeline show an escalating rhythm, systematically wearing down his defenses. The peaks act as a map, erasing the barrier between his mind and the forest, pulling him back to the exact spot. These loops weren't just bad dreams. They were a precisely timed countdown to a real-world ambush. The countdown ended on the 12th day, the day of his grandmother's Barwi morning ritual. Because of the ceremony's timing, Rohan was forced to drive back through the forest after dark. Right as he reached the coordinates of his first encounter, his motorcycle engine died instantly. He was stranded on the road, enveloped in the same dead silence he had heard 12 nights earlier. Then, the nightmare manifested in the real world. Emerging from the tree line was the old woman from his dreams. She didn't look monstrous yet. She leaned on a walking stick, offering a warm smile and asking if he was okay. Suddenly, Rohan was hit with a thirst so powerful it became a physical pain. This overwhelming need for water bypassed his logic and his fear. He followed her into the brush toward a hidden well, his survival instincts completely silenced by the physical craving. He lowered the bucket and glanced at the water's surface. In the reflection, the woman standing behind him was no longer human. Her face was a melted mask of wax with missing lips and bulging eyes staring back from the ripples. Rohan abandoned the bucket and scrambled toward his bike. When he looked back, the woman was no longer using a walking stick. She was sprinting toward him on all fours, moving rapidly through the dense brush like a predatory animal. He managed to start his bike and escape, but the encounter revealed the entity's true nature. It waits, projecting a harmless facade until its victim is close enough for it to drop the mask and hunt. Safely back in the village, Rohan collapsed with a severe fever. When he confessed what he saw to his uncle, the older man didn't hesitate. He recognized the pattern immediately, because he knew the history of that forest. Decades ago, a woman lived an isolated life in that exact section of the forest. Shunned by the village and struggling with her mental health, she eventually reached a breaking point. One night, she locked herself inside her small hut and set it on fire, perishing in the flames. This tragedy left an imprint on the landscape, a repeating loop of trauma and isolation that continues to play out for anyone who stops in those woods after dark. Her trap is built on a mirage. The hut and the candle travelers report seeing aren't real objects. They are projections designed to draw people off the road and into the entity's reach. Local survival rules for that road are simple and absolute. If you see the candle or the outline of the hut, you have already entered her hunting grounds. Rohan survived because his panic took over just in time to outrun the predator. In these isolated stretches of the Narmada district, these stories are passed down for a reason. Knowing them is often the only thing that keeps a traveler from disappearing into the trees.